As the NBA season winds down, I wanted to take a look at who the contenders and the pretenders are. This time it will be the Eastern Conference edition of this. I did the Western Conference about 4 days ago. So if you guys want to check that one out, you can see it below this video. But we're going to go into the Eastern Conference right now. We're going to go through the top 10 teams right now. I didn't include Brooklyn or Toronto because I feel like they're kind of going to be a long shot to make it. So we're going to go into Boston at number 1. And yeah, this is an obvious contender without question. Probably a lot of people's eyes, the favorite to win the title. I have a few concerns with, their ability to finish seasons as they haven't before. And it seems like we've seen this before from them. But they're really talented, and without question, they're an absolute contender. Number 2, we currently have Milwaukee, and it's been kind of shaky with Dame and Giannis, but at the same time, this is definitely a group of contenders. Now, have they regressed a little bit? I mean, you could say yes and no. This is a team that was bounced in the first round of last year. I doubt that happens this year, but Dame hasn't really had that big of playoff success outside of, he did hit that great shot. He went to a conference finals once. He hit that great shot against OKC too. But how is he going to do if they can get in a conference final situation? We'll see. But they're definitely contenders. Then going to number 3, the Cavs. I really, for a second, wanted to put them as pretenders, but they're going to be contenders. Donovan Mitchell is a really good player in my eyes. He has been since he went to the Cavs. He's been really improved. He's really carried that unit. But you have Evan Mobley, who gets better with seemingly every season that he plays with them. Darius Garland, when he's healthy, is a great passer of the basketball. He can also hit threes. You have Jared. You have a lot of guys. They're just young, and they're on and off. But I have to put them as contenders. I do have the Knicks as pretenders. I just don't think... I think before I even get into that, I think Jalen Brunson has done a tremendous job with the Knicks. He's been tremendous for the Knicks, more so better than I thought he would ever be with them. But their problem is depth. Their problem on this team is depth. And you can't get to the NBA Finals out of this East, although it's a weaker East. You can't get there with Julius Randle being your number 2. You just can't. So that's why I have to put them as pretenders. 76ers is very interesting for me. I'm going to say pretenders just because of Embiid's health. Obviously, he's missing a lot of time this year. Even if he is able to get back and play a good stretch of the postseason, is he going to be ready for that? If it wasn't for his health, this is a team that is definitely, in my eyes, contenders. But his health is just such an issue for me, and if he's not healthy, it's going to be really tough for him. The Magic are pretenders. Definitely maybe not so even a year away, just a young team. Like Banchero, really good player. They have actually surprisingly decent depth, but it's just too young of a team. Banchero's too young of a star to a point where I could put them as contenders. Going on to the Miami Heat, this is definitely going to be a contender for me. They're sitting at 7 right now, but they were the 8th seed last year. Went to the finals. I'm not counting these guys out ever again. As long as Jimmy Butler's there, as long as they have a similar roster, as long as Spoelstra's the head coach, this is a team I'm not counting out. So they're 110% contenders for me. I could see them making a similar run. It's not impossible. It's like a very similar roster that they had the last year. There's a few guys that are gone, obviously, but it's a similar unit. So that's why the Heat, in my eyes, are contenders. Going to 8, the Indiana Pacers. I'm going to say pretenders. I like Tyrese Halliburton, I do, but they just haven't been consistent enough to me to where I would be confident as saying that they could be contenders to go to the NBA Finals. They just haven't really been there for me. So that's why they're going to be pretenders in my book. And then we go to Chicago, who they're pretenders for me too. Like I said, not consistent enough. Zach LaVine is a good player, but he would have to be the best player on the team, and I just don't see him being a guy that can take a team to the NBA Finals. Then we go to the Atlanta Hawks at 10. I actually like Trae Young's game, but they're pretenders. Shantae Murray, I like his game too. You have pieces there. It's just not enough in my eyes where they can contend to get out of the East. And that's what I have for the Eastern Conference edition.